So Daniel, we talked earlier about getting into the refinancing and how it works, and I think it makes a lot of sense that if the rate's lower, there's a lot you can work with to kind of get in there. So how does that work if obviously I'm paying a lower rate, but aren't there closing costs and things that come in? How do I make sure that I go pay no money out yet in a better position with doing the refinancing?
Right. So refinances are, for the most part, cheaper and faster than purchases because there are a lot less moving parts. You don't have any realtors to deal with. You don't have any attorneys to deal with. It's just us and the title company. Now, for closing costs, I'm glad you brought that up because closing costs are a conversation that I always have with all my clients. Closing costs can be anywhere from 2 to 3% of the loan amount. Typically around 0.5% or 1% will go towards the title company. And the other 2% would go towards escrow costs. Escrow costs are money that you put into account for taxes and homeowners insurance, and the lender would take care of that for you. So, because in New Jersey, taxes are collected quarterly. So every 3 months, the lender would take the money out of the escrow account and help you pay for those taxes. So you don't have to worry about coming up with a lump sum every 3 months, going to the township and doing it yourself. So the escrow costs, if you choose to open an escrow account, are a free service offered by a lot of lenders, and they would be included in the closing costs if you choose to open one. So
And I know
a couple of different ways we can work with the closing costs. One would be to take a higher interest rate to help cover the closing costs in the terms of lender credit. Now, lender credit is taking a higher interest rate and letting the lender give you money in exchange for taking that higher interest rate. So say, for example, you have around $2,000 of closing costs. You might go up from a 3.5 to a 3.625 or 3.75% interest rate. But at the end of the day, 3.75 versus 3.5 might only be a difference of $5 or $10 a month, whereas the lender will be giving you around $2,000 to help with the closing costs. Another way we can deal with closing costs is to finance the full amount of the closing costs into the loan amount. That way you pay zero out of pocket, and you can choose when to pay extra towards the principal balance of the loan to pay off those closing costs. You can pay them off on your own schedule. So that I feel a lot of people like because that gives them the flexibility.
And what I think too, what people lose in some of that, because as you mentioned, a big piece of that is your homeowner's insurance. It's strictly a timing situation because at the time of closing, yes, you have to pay a year worth of, you've already owned the home. You're going in and you're doing the revaluing your mortgage. You have to get a full year worth of homeowner's insurance, but that insurance, you get the refund for the portion that you didn't have. So although you have to wrap up that payment at the closing table, you still get back that refund of everything that you'd already contributed. So that money that had been escrowed comes back, and it really just is a timing difference. And that does go right to the individual.
Absolutely. Escrow refund is something I educate all my clients about as well. So when you open a new escrow account, the money in your old escrow account will be returned to you. So usually it's a wash.
Exactly. So it appears more on paper than it really is once you've done and gone through. So the common sense is rates are lower. Let's go in and refinance
Exactly.
that lower rate.
Let's help you save money.
Exactly. Sounds like a plan. Thank you, sir.
Yep.